Hey guys, here's my second attempt on recording a video on how to make French macaroons. Yesterday they came out surprisingly well. I had a few little rookie mistakes with piping them onto the cookie sheets, but other than that they were really yummy and they tasted really good. You're going to want to start off with almond flour. Now, almond flour without being in a specialty store or somewhere that almond flour might be kind of hard to find. If that's the case, you can make your own almond flour really easily. It looks like this. I made this myself. A little close up. It's really easy to make if you have a food processor or a coffee grinder and some raw almonds. You literally take almonds and put them in the food processor and turn it on. Yesterday I made just enough plus just a little bit more for today, but today I'm going to need a little bit more just to be safe. Once I get this food processor started with the other things, I don't want to have to clean it back out and make almond flour if I ran out. So, with that being said, plug your ears for a sec, because this is going to get kind of loud. I wonder if you can still hear me with the food processor on. You're going to want to just hit pulse a few times, get them nice and chopped up, and then you can turn the food processor on. A lot of people are afraid that they're going to turn it into almond butter, but that's not the case. You actually are going to need to add oil to make almond butter. That's when you buy that old-fashioned peanut butter. It's got that layer of oil on the top. You need that oil. Ta-da! With measuring for the food processor about how much almond flour that you're going to need, it's pretty easy. It's pretty much 1 for 1. The almonds sit in the cup fairly nicely, and it's pretty much 1 for 1. If you get 1 cup of raw almonds, you're going to get about a cup of almond flour. So I'm making pistachio macaroons today, so I'm going to need about a 1/3 cup of pistachio flour. It's made the same way the almond flour is made up. I'm going to prepare just a little bit more of this pistachio flour because I'm going to garnish the top of the cookies with the extra stuff that doesn't really sift out. There we go. So we need 1/2 cup of pistachio flour, and then we're going to use 1/3 of a cup of almond flour. So we're only substituting 1/2 cup. So we're going to use 1/3 of the cup for almond flour right in there. So in here we have 1/2 cup of pistachio and 1/3 of a cup of almond flour. And then what we're going to add to that is 1 cup of powdered sugar. I'll use it in 4th cup increments so I don't make a mess. This lid on and pulse it so it's nice and mixed. Put this into a bowl. Let that sit off to the side. So this is the meringue part. It's kind of difficult if you've never made a meringue, just because there's a lot of timing involved. It's not hard. It's just time consuming. What you do is you take 2 eggs and you separate them so you just have the whites. You can use an egg separator, you can do it in the shell, you can separate it through your fingers if you're really delicate and careful. Then you whisk that until foamy. You add a little cream of tartar and whisk it again until you get soft peaks. And then you add the sugar and you whisk and whisk and whisk until you get firm peaks, which takes about 8 minutes. The whole thing probably will take about 10 to 12 minutes to make the meringue. So I will just put this on fast forward and you can watch it that way. Alright, now we're at the stiff peak stage. What we're going to do here is we're going to mix the pistachios that we made, the pistachio flour and the mixture that we made earlier. We're going to fold it into this. Now, since pistachios are normally shown having a green color, I'm going to add a little bit of this green food coloring. It's powdered food coloring. Just measure a little bit out on my spatula. I don't need very much. And I'm going to just mix it right on in here. I'm actually going to sift half of the mixture. The other half will be used for texture. So the remaining of this mixture I'm just going to sift. Now you can just fold. Fold the mixture right into this mixture. Just like that. It'll start getting nice and shiny. This is the other thing that we want. Let this sit. Let it sit up. And we're going to make our pastry bag. Now, the best and easiest way to fill a pastry bag is to set the tip inside a cup or a glass and create a nice little well like this. And you just spoon this mixture right in. Less mess, less work. It's really genius. It's not my idea. I actually took it from someone else's video blogs and food blogs a long time ago, and I have no idea who the original creator is, so I can't get credit, but I can't give credit, but it definitely wasn't me. And here we have our filled pastry bag with our pistachio macaroons. There you go. You don't want any air in this part, because then you're going to get weird holes in your cookies. So you just want to try to make them as smooth and round as possible, similar sizes, because basically what's going to happen is we're going to sandwich these cookies together. So you're going to have equal sizes. Also, these cookies are pretty true to form. They don't really grow at all, they just kind of puff up. So you can put them about 1/2 inch apart. You want them to be about 3/4 of an inch wide and about 1/2 inch apart, just so that you have space and you kind of know where they're at. But they're not gonna get all big and crazy like chocolate chip cookies and run into each other and all that horribleness when you just think you can fit an extra row of cookies and it comes out as just one big cookie. Alright, so I'm going to throw these ones in the oven and I'm going to bring my other sheet back and I'm going to work on those, and then I'll show you what they look like when they come out of the oven. When the cookies are done, they should look like this. I got all fancy and did half of them with crushed pistachio on top, so when you sandwich them, they have a nice little decoration. I'm going to make another video on how to make the meringue buttercream, so if you want to frost them, you're going to have to watch that too.